This is Lori, a beautiful corner of the South Caucasus, a place of songs and legends. For centuries, Greeks have lived in this region with Armenians, as neighbors, friends, and family. However, over the past decade, life has become more difficult, communities isolated, and people left to fend for themselves. In this situation, village residents no longer have access to quality healthcare. With the goal of improving the healthcare situation in the region, the Primary Healthcare Initiative project was launched in June 2003, financed by USAID and private SAE funds. Following a detailed needs assessment, IRD and SAE identified 12 target communities for this initiative. On November 17, 2003, a mobile medical unit began to operate in these communities. Looking at a map, these villages seem close to each other, but in reality, due to poor roads and deep valleys, traveling from one community to another becomes a tortuous activity. This has made it difficult for emergency care to reach these residents. There was no health post or physician in our village. The nearest one was in the neighboring village. If something ever happened, it was almost impossible to pass through our rocky and muddy roads to reach a doctor. Every 2 weeks, program staff visited these villages. General physicians, pediatricians, lab technicians, and gynecologists. More than 3,500 patients were counseled, examined, and provided with free medications. Health professionals underwent lengthy training in evidence-based medicine, were familiarized with modern methods and algorithms of treatment. Side by side with theory, practical classes were organized, and all participants provided with training materials. We have implemented training sessions for medical doctors and nurses involved in this project, and we are happy with the results of the final examinations. I would say that the combination of theoretical classwork, coupled with hands-on skills training, has made this project one of the most successful interventions of its kind. The lack of current and modern medical information was clear. To fill this gap, program staff established a resource room in the project office and supplied it with books, CDs, and brochures. This center contains literature on family medicine as well as specialized fields such as surgery, gynecology, neurology, pharmacology, pediatrics, and ophthalmology. Medical personnel from the regions of Tumanian and Stepanovan can visit the resource room at any time and have access to up-to-date medical information. In order to prioritize healthcare problems and ensure community involvement in the project, community health committees were established in the target villages and volunteer community health workers selected. Sometimes, organizing the communities was not an easy task. The establishment of the community health committees and the needs assessment coincided with the season for agricultural work. It was quite difficult to gather a large number of people to make collective decisions. Project staff rose to the challenge and brought their activities to the fields. PHCI project employees assisted members of the community health committees to develop and present proposals to solve health-related problems in their villages. 6 project proposals were selected, taking into consideration their impact on the health situation, the number of beneficiaries, level of community participation, the duration and feasibility of the project. In 2 villages, the lack of safe drinking water was a major public health concern. In others, health posts needed serious renovations. By the end of the project, 2 new health posts had been built, 3 renovated, and 2 drinking water supply projects carried out. In only 1.5 months, where this building once stood, an entirely new health post was built and equipped. This was the first infrastructure completed in the program and just in time for the visit of the SAE delegation in early October. And this is Ardvi village, where we see another newly built health post. On behalf of all of Ardvi's villagers, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to all those individuals and organizations that implemented the project of building this beautiful health post. I encourage you to continue such activities in other regions of Armenia. A series of trainings were also held on various healthcare issues for over 80 community health workers in the 12 target villages. Community health workers participated in health education workshops based on the recently developed USAID ASTP curriculum, as well as first aid training provided by the Armenian Red Cross Society. Accidents happen every day, and already many community health workers have applied their newly learned knowledge and skills. The existence of a program and arrival of project staff in communities is not always sufficient to mobilize communities. Sometimes more creative approaches are required. In many communities, different international and local organizations have come and gone without necessarily implementing projects. This has led to skepticism on the part of villagers. This attitude was an obstacle for our employees in trying to get community members involved. To break through, drawing and modeling competitions were organized with over 500 children during Christmas and the New Year. Step by step, villagers started to take an interest in PHCI activities. The number of community health workers increased. Program staff organized health education theater in the program's communities. The knowledge children had received from community health workers was played out in performances and skits. During rehearsals, parents and neighbors began to participate in active discussions about health issues in their own communities. The results exceeded all expectations. As the grand finale, IRD organized a large health education event in Alaverdi. Each community was represented by a children's theater group that would participate in a friendly competition. The characters created by the community health workers and children were received with cheers and applause by the audience. In these skits, children used heroes from popular fairy tales to present different healthcare topics. The children of Shamluk village introduced the Liar Hunter fairy tale. In the middle of the fairy tale, which is very familiar to the audience, the storyline takes a sudden and unexpected twist. A snake bites one of the hunters and, unfortunately, there is no chance to call emergency care because the subscriber is out of coverage. But the liar hunter doesn't lose presence of his mind because he has participated in a first aid training organized within the frames of the PHCI project, and he knows what to do. Children from Kachachkut village selected sunstroke as their demonstration topic. The hero of the story, Nazar the Brave, was not able to swat the flies swarming around him because he had received sunstroke while lying too long under the sun. First aid is provided to Nazar the Brave by a skillful neighbor. The Svetlov community introduced to the public the topic of first aid for burns. This time, the hero of the performance is well known to every Armenian, Unlucky Panos. After his regular failure, he returns home complaining, and as he tries to burn the candle, he unfortunately burns his hand. If not for his neighbor, who had passed first aid training, one cannot imagine what would have happened to poor Panos. Children from Udut village introduced a made-up story about the importance of hygiene. A worm, wanting to get into children's stomachs, comes and plays with them. He manages to persuade the children not to follow hygiene rules. Children follow his advice and later come down with severe abdominal pains. Happily, the worm starts to dance because he managed to reach his goal. Only a deworming tablet, dressed as a karate athlete, manages to fight against the worm and win. Another fairy tale was also very popular among the audience, the death of Gikos. Gikos tries to pick some fruit from the tree, but unfortunately falls down and breaks his leg. According to the plot, his unhappy mother and sisters arrive and begin to cry. Only his active grandmother knows what to do, because she was one of the active participants of the training organized by the PHCI project. The representatives of the audience were emotional, commenting on the children's skill and devotion. As to the head of the first aid department of the Armenian Red Cross, he said that in all cases, the provision of first aid was done properly and correctly. Today is a great holiday. I am pleasantly surprised to see all this became possible here. Impressions, the best, which could have been imagined. I am very happy. This is a holiday and a lesson for us. Local and national media highlighted the event. The First Republican TV channel, as well as the children's show Haydanik, carried a special report of the event. The project's closing ceremony took place at the Tufenkian Heritage Hotel in Lori on December 1, 2004. IRD management presented certificates to medical personnel and community volunteers who had participated in the project's trainings. Presenters at the ceremony, including USAID Deputy Director, representatives from the Ministry of Health, National Institute of Health, and local authorities, all reflected upon the success of the program in improving the quality of primary health care in Lori. During the second part of the day, ceremony participants and local residents attended the opening of 2 water pipelines and newly constructed and renovated buildings at 7 project sites. All were met with traditional Armenian bread and salt to mark the occasion. The project is the second initiative of the World Council of Hellenes Abroad that we have implemented with IRD. This has been a strong partnership and one that I hope has improved the quality of primary health care in Lori. This project was well targeted because of being implemented after a careful needs assessment. During all stages of the program, the staff worked with us and we were familiar with every step undertaken. This type of project combines development initiatives with relief assistance, and this is exactly what remote villages need now.
Together we have worked to improve health situation to a level where everyone can be assured that in case of necessity, quality health care will be provided on site. But from now on, the burden to sustain these services will be on shoulders of people who live and work in Lori. I was very happy to be a part of a great team, and I would like to encourage everyone, all of us, local officials, residents and their families, to continue this work that we have started here together.